Hey guys, how you doing? This is Mango etc. and I'm here today to bring you the review for Dragon Ball Super episode 34. Now the very first thing I want to say about this episode is that I feel that it was too short, just as the episode seemed to be starting, getting going. Just when I was really getting into the episode, I was like, damn, there goes the outro. Next thing I want to talk about is Piccolo versus Frost. I really did like this fight. I think it was a good fight. Piccolo clearly knew that he was the weak of the two opponents, so he was using a strategy to try and win this fight. And it would have worked if it wasn't for the fact Frost was cheating. So, yes, Piccolo, you are the wise fighter. Now, let's just talk about this whole situation of how Frost was cheating. Now, I find it really funny because ever since last week, every time I went onto YouTube, I'm seeing some sort of theory or conspiracy about how Frost won that fight, and I was thinking to myself, was it really that deep? Was it really that mind baffling that theories and conspiracies had to be formed about it? And I didn't watch none of them. I just saw like the titles come up in my recommendations. I didn't watch any of them, and I even saw one saying how the purple guy was involved in this reason why Goku lost the fight. And I'm just there thinking to myself, maybe I should watch these videos to understand what they were thinking fully. But even with the one with the purple guy, involving the purple guy, just thinking about it for a split second, I'm thinking, where are you getting this from? Because I watched the end of the last episode again, and the purple guy doesn't appear before Frost attacks or after Frost attacks. So where are you getting it from? I can understand if he did appear before or after the attack, so then you can think, okay, maybe we were showing him because he has something involved to do with it. But like, it's just people come up with theories out of nowhere, and I just find it really funny. But let's get back on topic. So we find out because he went to go on. He tried to act like he wasn't involved when he went to go to Goku after the fight. But we find out that it was him, and it didn't go exactly how I thought it was gonna go. I thought it was gonna be like an attack that makes someone dizzy. But the truth of the matter is that he modified his body, so within his arm he had a needle, and he's been pricking everyone with the needle. He did it to Goku in the last episode, he did it to Piccolo in this episode, and he makes his opponent dizzy, and therefore he uses that moment of dizziness to go in for an attack and defeat his opponent. And it's Jacko who calls it. He notices it at the from the last episodes. That's clearly evident because we see that scene where he's like, "What?" Look, he doesn't actually say it, but his facial expression is like, "What?" We find out with Vegeta, I think something's up in this episode as well, and I think he does notice what happens as well. But it's Jacko that who calls it, tells the referee. The referee checks him over, and then from there he gets disqualified. Now, what I did find funny was that Champa was even vexed about this whole needle thing going on, and he's like, "Yo, you're embarrassing me like in this tournament," and it was even to the point where he wanted to destroy Frost himself, and Champa goes to Vados. He's like, "Yo, why did you bring this embarrassment into like my team?" And Vados is like, "Champa, you told me to bring you fighters that will win this tournament for you. You didn't tell me to do a moral back check." And now that was quite funny. It was understandable as well. And then after Champa heard that, he's like, "You know what? You have a point." And then he turns to Frost and he's like, "You know what, Frost? I'm gonna let this slide if you continue to win. If you continue to win, I'll let it slide, and I even give you a helping hand." We then go on because basically Frost is supposed to be disqualified, but Vegeta objects to this and he's like, "You know what? Let him stay. Put me on now. I'll deal with him. That's basically what Vegeta says, and there's a little bit of confrontation about this, but everything is squared in the end. So we leave things off with Vegeta versus Frost. Now, I want Vegeta to just one shot Frost. Next episode, that is what I want to see. Just a one shot. I don't care if it's a key blast. I don't care if it's a punch. I don't care if it's a kick. I don't care if Vegeta sneezes on him. I just want Frost to get one shot because he's been playing the good guy and he's not. He's shady, just as shady as Frieza, and he just deserves to get one-shotted within the next episode. Something I should have mentioned earlier. We found out that Frost is not a good guy. He is just as bad as Frieza. He's been playing the good guy on his planet, helping with these wars, but he's actually He's actually been causing them as well. He's part of these. He's part of the organizations that he's been fighting against, that has been starting these wars. He's the mastermind, and he's been doing this so he can profit off of it. This is why next episode, he needs to get just straight away, no hesitation, no time spent on it, just one shot. Something that Saitama would do. Something that would get him very tough. But yeah, he just needs to get one shot. But that's everything to happen in the episode. Just things to think about, because things are not looking good for our side right now. Goku is done. Technically, he should be able to come back now that we know that he was cheating. But we have Goku done. We have Piccolo, who's like says I give up, so he's technically has to stay out of the fight now. So that just leaves Vegeta and Monokata. Obviously, just to remind you, Super Buu never passed the written exam, so he can't participate. So that just leaves me to think, how many fighters do you think Vegeta is going to take out before he's KO? Because it's just normal to think that we see everybody fight. So I'm gonna assume that Vegeta takes out 3 fighters, and then it will be Monokata versus the last remaining fighter. That just makes sense to me. That's just something I see happening. But I also see, and I did mention this to a friend when we was talking about Dragon Ball Super earlier, just before this tournament started, it is very rare for tournaments in animes to actually finish. So what if this tournament doesn't finish and somebody interrupts it, some threat interrupts it, and that's how we start to go into the next arc. One last thing before I wrap this up. So we know from the last episode that Goku in Super Saiyan could deal with Frost. So from that, I'm assuming that Frost is as strong as Frieza was when the whole Namek Saga thing took place. So Goku says to Piccolo that he doesn't have a chance in defeating Frost, so that's where things get a bit iffy, because Piccolo was able to tussle with Cell, and Cell was stronger than Frieza. So if Frieza and Frost are equal in terms of Namek Saga, then Piccolo should have been able to defeat Frost. That's my problem right there. Also, another thing, it also gives us a chance to just see what kind of power level that the other Saiyan on Champa's team has, because we found out in this episode when everyone was accusing Frost of cheating, the Saiyan on Champa's team says that he had fights with Frost. So we don't know if they're equal fights or he was getting. I'm gonna assume they're equal fights because he said fights. So that would mean that even though he can't turn Super Saiyan, because he says he can't turn Super Saiyan, he's never heard of a Super Saiyan prior to seeing Goku do it, he does have that same level of strength. That's something I noticed, and I just thought I'd share that with you and ask you, what do you think about those two things? Do you agree with them? Do you disagree with them? Let me know, comment section below. It's always there for thoughts and feedback. Like always, guys, I'm asking for your thoughts. Oh, I forgot the rating. So I'm gonna give this rating a 3.5 star. I don't think enough happened in it to give it a 4, so I'm gonna give it 3.5. Like always, guys, I'm asking for your thoughts and opinions. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. But most importantly, take care. Have a nice day.